It's your friendly neighborhood Freedom Wolf here, and today we're going to be going over the Marvel Infinity War trailer. Some of you guys might ask, what gives this guy walking around with the Iron Man helmet the right to talk about the Marvel Infinity War trailer? Let me show you. Some of y'all are triggered because I have DC and anime stuff in that video. Relax, that just means I don't discriminate. And that's not all of it, but I mean, I can't show you my whole entire room. I mean, we're just getting to know each other, so this movie is going to be kind of picking up where everyone else left off, and it's going to be interesting because, like for Cap example, and I will state I do have some notes, so I'm going to be kind of looking over here every now and then. He doesn't have a shield anymore. I mean, he dropped it once Tony told him, you're not worthy of that shield. We just came to the epiphany or whatever that, Cap knew that Bucky was the one that killed his parents. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, and so he drops it. So he doesn't have the shield anymore. And I'm wondering if we're gonna see the new shield that was kind of hinted at in Spider-Man: Homecoming. There's a couple things that were hinted at in there on moving day, as they stated that when they were moving the headquarters. There was Thor's belt and the Cap shield, and then we saw the new Spider-Man suit, which is in the trailer, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, he's just been kind of on the lam, on the go, running and stuff, and hopefully they kind of tell us what he's been up to this whole entire time, and don't just leave it a total secret. And I guess we just go right in Iron Man. I'm pretty sure he's just kind of been burying himself into his work. And we've seen him in Spider-Man: Homecoming and everything. So I think he's really just been tinkering. He's been moving the facility. He's got his little apprentice now, which is Spider-Man. And he's taking Spider-Man under his wing, and he's really just, I think, trying to prove. It's one of those weird things where he's trying to prove to himself through someone else that he is a good guy, that he's worth it, and it's, I don't know, it's going to be one of those things where, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, it's going to be a whole separate point, but I think we're due for some deaths in the MCU, so I'm going to be curious to see if somebody close to Tony doesn't die in this movie. And I don't know, what does this have to see? Spider-Man, going right into him. From his movie, he chose to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which Tony, remarked in his movie earlier, and he basically denied the super suit, and he got his regular suit back from Tony. And basically, I think what we're going to see is that we're just picking up from him being the Spider-Man. But the big thing I think we're all waiting to see is that cliffhanger of Aunt May finding out that he's Spider-Man and what's been going on since then. Because all we really kind of see in the trailer is, his Spidey sense, or him getting those super goosebumps. But we also do see him getting thrown around by Thanos a little bit. So, in Civil War, in the comic books, he gets beaten almost to death, and he didn't get that in Civil War. He was kind of like the hero, and he got his 5 minutes of fame, if you will. So is he gonna get beaten almost to death in this one? Well, we just have to wait and see. I don't know if there's any confirmation on this or whatever, but I would assume it's kind of Cap's team because he broke him out of the super security prison. But Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Falcon are kind of MIA for that time period. I mean, we see Hawkeye and Falcon. Well, we definitely see Falcon in the trailer. We don't really see Hawkeye or Ant-Man. So we're kind of like, what's going on there? And then Black Widow got a new hairdo. Nice blonde hairdo there. Nice dye job. I'm assuming it's because she's kind of been on the lam too, you know, because she kind of definitely helped Steve Rogers escape. So I don't know if she's kind of on the run and, you know, she's teamed up with him now. So again, it's more questions to be answered. This movie's going to be filled with, hopefully, a ton of answers to questions that we were left with. T'Challa, nothing really. We're just waiting for his solo movie to see what they bring out. Maybe the last Infinity Stone is in Wakanda. That's kind of what everyone's speculating. Bucky is still frozen on ice at this point, but we see him up and at him and with machine guns in the trailer. So, you know, we just gotta kind of wait and see. Speaking of Wakanda, in the trailer we see War Machine, and I'll touch on it in a little bit, but we see War Machine in a couple different parts of the trailer, but one, he's flying around with Falcon, and then, so I'm assuming they kind of made up and everything, because it's kind of his fault that he got shot, because he kind of ducked the beam, and War Machine took it. But I'm wondering how War Machine's doing, like how is his recovery doing, because obviously it's good enough for him to be flying up and around and everything if his spine's doing okay to take all that G-force. But so I'll again, it's another question I'm curious about, and I hope that they actually answer it and they're not just like, it's a comic book movie, don't ask questions, just accept it. So hopefully they kind of go into it and show us something about his recovery process. Another short one is Vision and Scarlet Witch. Gonna get the love story. I have some more points later on talking about his human form. That's gonna be interesting to see, because it's like, is that because of the stone or what? I don't know. Thor, Loki, the Hulk, and everyone else that was on that ship. Bad news bears for them, because they ran into Thanos first. It looks like they're getting into a ship at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and it looks like they're gonna have an all-out battle. And then it looks like something happens and Thor gets kicked out of the ship or something, and he basically bumps into the Guardians first, from what it looks like in the trailer. And then for the Guardians, it's obviously picking up after Guardians 2, because we're getting a teenage Groot, which is interesting. Obviously because he has to get older. But one thing I'm going to be interested to see is, now Peter is not half God. He's not half God Star-Lord anymore. So is he going to be different? Is he going to be going into battles not as aggressive, or not just so balls to the wall, if you will, because he doesn't have that celestial being as half human, half celestial anymore. He's basically, there's nothing special about him anymore. So, because he lost that light power, I don't know how they're going to go about it, or if he's just going to be the same old Star-Lord, because he's just a, bad mamma jamma. So, again, I have a ton of questions, and I hope that they go through and answer at least a good bit of of them. I know they're not going to answer every single one, but it'd be cool if some of them get answered. But yeah, I'm not going to read these in order of how they came into the movie, so don't get triggered. But I know we left the Power Stone in the hands of the Nova Corps, so obviously since Thanos has that, Nova Corps is probably destroyed. The Space Stone, which was in the Tesseract, we see Loki literally just kind of handing it over, saying like, I'm assuming he's probably just gonna be like, don't kill me. Mind Stone is what Vision has, and we see that literally getting ripped out of his freaking head. So, and that's what I was gonna kind of talk about now, is, do we see Vision in human form because he doesn't have the Mind Stone, and we see just like a little bit of yellow residue or whatever you want to call it, because it got ripped out? Or is that just like him being incognito, trying to hide now? So many questions, and I just can't wait for this movie. So it's Then we have the Reality Stone, and that was left with the Collector. So that's another, thing. The Time Stone, obviously, that's what Doctor Strange had around his neck, and he doesn't actually physically have it. He put it back up in the Sanctuary, so it's going to be one of those, is Doctor Strange going to get to it first? Is Thanos going to get to it first? And then the last one is the Soul Stone, and that's MIA, but everyone's kind of saying, we think it's going to be in Wakanda, and that's kind of what it's leading up to. There was speculation that the Gatekeeper, I can't remember his name, the guy with the giant sword from Thor's movies and stuff, was the actual Soul Stone, or his eyes were a Soul Stone, because he could see every living soul in every galaxy and everything. But I think it's just going to be in Wakanda. I was a little disappointed when I saw Thanos in this trailer, because he wasn't repping like the comic booky looking armor and everything like he was kind of in Guardians movie. But then I saw this like mini interview or whatever with the director, and he says it in a way of saying it's a spiritual journey for Thanos, saying that he doesn't need his warlord armor as he started acquiring the stones. So I mean, at least there's a reasoning, and there you go, I got my answer of why he's not wearing his armor and everything, so I can accept it as to why he's not wearing it. Still a little disappointed that he's not just rocking it and looking like he does on most of the comic books, but I will accept it. I'll let it slide. A final couple points. I talked about death earlier. I can't say I have one person I think is gonna die. I don't know. Like I said, Spider-Man got away with not getting like almost any scratches in Civil War. You see Thanos, beating on him in the trailer. So, possibility. My whole point is that none of the movies have really given us the heartbreak of an actual death. And what I mean by that is people have technically died or gotten really close to death, and then like in Doctor Strange, for example, he went back and like rewound time and did the little clock thing on his wrist and like made time go back, or got smashed 1,000 times or 1,000,000, however long he was trapped in that universe, and never really died. So we never got like the true heartbreak of losing a character. And then even someone, who was a really big character, and now in my opinion is kind of a smaller character because he's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Agent Coulson, when he got killed in the show, everyone was like, Agent Coulson. And then they took that away when they put him back in the show. So you gave it and then you take it away. You give it and you take it away. And we haven't had a true heartbreak yet. And I feel like the time is coming. And with Thanos being as big and pivotal as a character as he is, I think now might be the time. And not that I want someone to die. I'm just kind of calling it and foreshadowing it now. There's a huge battle that's going to happen in Wakanda. In the trailer, the trailer's iffy because in post they can take out and put in any characters they want in the trailer, so it can happen whenever. But right now we see Captain America, Black Widow, Bucky, Panther, Falcon, the Hulk, plus War Machine and the Hulkbuster armor. But there's a catch to the Hulkbuster armor. Supposedly, Tony Stark is not the one operating the Hulkbuster armor. Supposedly, it's Bruce Banner. So I guess there was a Lego set released, and it has Bruce Banner piloting. So there's this big controversy or leak of some sort. We'll obviously have to wait till the movie comes out to get it 100% confirmed. But if that's true, it's, did Thanos separate the Hulk from Bruce Banner? Did, something happen where Bruce can't transform into the Hulk, so Tony gives Bruce the Hulkbuster armor so he can fight? There's all these things. I'm kind of theorizing, and this is my theory, and this is what I'm going to end on. This is what I'm going to end the video on, my theory, okay? Because Hulk crashes to the earth. He falls in Doctor Strange's, I can't remember what it's called, the castrum or whatever, crashes to earth from the spaceship, if this is how they shoot it, from the spaceship, like the Silver Surfer did, okay, and warns Doctor Strange, Thanos, it's coming. Not if, when he is on his way, okay? He's coming. And we see him like in this giant crater in the stairs or whatever, and he's Bruce Banner. I don't think Bruce could just take that hit. I think he falls as the Hulk. And then after he lands, he turns back into Bruce Banner. And I think that the Hulk got so hurt that something happens and like the Hulk kind of has to like self-heal, and he just can't transform into the Hulk for a little bit. And so there needs to be like a time frame or something. That's my opinion or take on it, like some kind of weird thing where the Hulk is so hurt that he can't transform. Like, I mean, dude fell from space. I mean, that the Hulk is the Hulk, but I mean, the Hulk still has some sort of limit. I mean, come on. So I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. But again, we're talking about the Infinity Gauntlet, and if he starts getting all the stones, Thanos can kind of do whatever he wants. So he could totally just separate him. So that's my opinion and take on the trailer. Tell me you guys in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Have a wonderful day, night, and everything. Peace.